As I was just cooking my evening meal, which consists of beautiful succulent fluorescent green broccoli and succulent carrots, I have mashed potato and I have gravy and onions, which accompany so well traditional British sausages. Now usually I go for like a Cumberland sausage with spices and stuff. This time I've gone for a different variety of sausage. Let me get the packet. This sausage is Lincolnshire sausage. Succulent British farm-cured pork sausages, expertly blended with herbs and a pinch of white pepper. And as I was doing that, I thought about my relationship with you guys. And so whilst I'm speaking to you, I'm going to be doing the washing up. Alright? And I thought that, you see, what we're doing here, it doesn't matter. And most of you, you've been around for a long time. You've been viewing the Awake and Brave channel for years. And not only have you learned something about what I've been speaking about, and you've learned something about me, you've learnt about you. And that's what this thing's all about, isn't it? It's about learning from each other, via each other. So when I make videos and I'm saying that, oh, you know, some of you engage this before you engage that, and that's not going to be very conducive to happiness on this channel. Because you know what I'm like. I'm a little bit volatile. I don't mind shooting my mouth off, do I? To be fair, I've never been shy of shooting my mouth off. And so, doubtless I'll continue to do that till the day I die. So when I'm making videos and I'm saying, oh, you're saying this and you're saying that, and you know, basically, for those of you that are remotely psychological, you'll look at me and you'll go, well, that's what you do, Aaron. You do that, you've done that. I'm like, yeah. So the videos I make are the things that I need to work on. Of course, I'm talking about all of the religious and spiritual stuff and psychological and philosophical and all this stuff, things that are going on inside my very being. And if I see something that, you know, promotes a video out of me, then obviously it's something that I'm still working on myself. So when I say things about, you guys are doing this, just always bear in mind that I'm equally guilty. Of course I am. Because if I wasn't equally guilty, then I wouldn't need to be making those videos to point out how you've erred, you know. And so, basically, that's what I wanted to say in this video. We are travelling on a journey together. And we are learning together. But the thing is, there's something else that's going on as well. There's something that's going on which is subliminal. Come here, so you can hear me better. When I'm speaking about some topic, underlying all of that is my humanism, is my psychology. And so everything that I'm speaking about is premised from my psychology, where I am as a cognizant being at any given time. And you are the same. You're doing the same. As you watch, you evolve. And you learn something more about yourself. You see, the knowledge is peripheral. Whatever knowledge we attain, we know this about that or whatever, we're growing and we're evolving as beings, and that is the only thing really that's important. Because according to all these spiritual gurus, at the end of the day, this is a training ground for personal evolution. So in the Buddhist terminology, so ultimately we don't have to come back here again and suffer it. In the Christian terminology, so we will enter the kingdom of God with the Father and the Son. You see, it's all premised in us not being worthy at this moment in time. We're not. It's kind of like having a nightclub or a venue with dress restrictions. Well, I don't know as there's any dress restrictions in heaven, but there's certainly etiquette restrictions. And so being uncouth, dull, uneducated and disinterested and non-spiritual and all this stuff, it's kind of like, not tonight lads. You know, that's the deal. And apparently, as far as Buddhists are concerned, we have had the not tonight, Josephine, for thousands of reincarnations. And we're hoping that one day we're going to get there and we're going to go, come on in then. And then you're going to go, oh, finally I make the grade. And I hope it's worthwhile. You know, all of these earth reincarnations and all of these lessons that we've had to learn, all of this personal spiritual development that we go through here on earth, and all of the bullshit that goes with it. All I can say is, it better be worth it, otherwise I'm going to want a word with the boss. I'm going to go, is this it? Are you telling me that you have had me reincarnated 52,000 times just to get in this joint? It better be good. And so, oh, by the way, here is my pickled walnuts. Now this water is saline, that's salt water, and it's going to go black. After 1 week I'm going to change it and leave it there to sit for another week. Then I'm going to pour the solution away and I'm going to leave the walnuts to air for a couple of days, and then I'm going to put them in jars with the vinegar and the herbs. And I've just ordered 5 litres of white vinegar. I've ordered the relevant herbs. I've ordered the jars. And so these pickled walnuts, they're going to end up costing about £2 each by the time I've finished my production. But it's not about the money, it's about the participation and the involvement with Mother Nature. And of course I'll have the jars for other things that I want to do. The vinegar, you can keep reusing it, and the more you've pickled things in the vinegar, the more tasty it becomes in any case. And so I've been doing all that, and I've made nettle soup recently. You gather a bunch of nettle leaves and you boil them down. You add a few boiled potatoes and some boiled onions, maybe a bit of garlic if that's your preference, a bit of salt and pepper. You blend the whole lot, and then you have a beautiful, creamy, very nutritious soup which tastes like broccoli soup, really. And so I was very surprised about how good it was, really good. And it's packed full of antioxidants and vitamins and iron and all the rest of it. And of course nettles, they're an all year round thing. And so looking back at our ancestors, it would have been a staple diet for them with whatever they had at the time. Whether it was potato or whether it was bread or, you know, whatever thickening they could put in. And probably just the nettles, they would just bang them in a gruel. Highly nutritious and tasty. So I've been doing that, and I'm going to be gathering up a whole bunch of fungi this autumn. I've learnt a lot more about it now. Over here is some of the books that I'm referring to, and this one is an absolutely beautifully illustrated book. Look at that. I mean, I had to buy, you know, about 10 books before I was blessed with this one. And then a little bit further down here you get to really interesting mushrooms. Come on, where are you? Really interesting mushrooms like these. Look at those babies. Aren't they beautiful? They are your psilocybe semilanceta, Liberty Cap's magic mushrooms. Liberty Cap, because they set you free. So got that, then trees, field guide to mushrooms and toadstools, food for free, mushrooms and toadstools, mushrooms and toadstools, foraging, free wild food, and mushrooms and other fungi. Oh, look at those beauties there. Amanita muscaria. I can't wait till the autumn comes so I can go and gather some of those up. Then we've got British trees, food for free, British birds. Who's that fat bloke? Fat Mears. Got Fat Mears. And, this book was rubbish. Mears, you sold a rubbish book, mate. Because he's famous. He was overly careful and barely telling you anything. Never mentioned, you know, about poisonous stuff in there, because don't want to be held liable. You see, this is what it gets when you get famous, is that all of a sudden you're in a realm where you can't say this and you can't say that because there's somebody ate something which you depicted in your book and you made allusions to that you could eat it, and they got sick and died. Well, they'll be suing you for millions. More British mushrooms and toadstools. Another beautifully illustrated book. You know, these are aliens. They're not plant, they're not animal, they are alien. And there's just a billion species of them. And there's look, this one here is called beefsteak. and you can eat that one, and it's supposed to be very tasty. So I'm looking forward to grabbing hold of one of those, Nature's Garden. And then there's a very tasty fungi, which is these huge puffballs. You slice them like bread. You grill them or put them in the toaster or fry them with some seasoning and a bit of garlic butter or whatever, and they're yummy, yummy. And so there's a whole bunch of you know, very exciting things that we can eat, and just, you know, have a bit of fun with. But the thing is, you know, we have to educate ourselves. We can't be silly billies, and so this is why I've got all these books, because I value my life, but I don't want to allow fear to override the things I do in my life, and I never have them. And how do we alleviate fear? By the acquisition of knowledge. Simple. When I'm out foraging and people go, "Oh, what you got there?" and I go, "Oh, you know, this particular type of mushroom. Oh, you got to be careful of that, you know." I'm like, I know. But because I've been careful and I've actually done my research, I now know what I don't need to be terrified of, and I can pick these up and go home and make a tasty dish, just like millions of people have done in the past, rather than just existing on these, which don't smell of anything and taste a little bit mushroomy, a little bit sweet. Nothing to write home about, but out in the field you get mushrooms with a whole range, fungi with a whole range of different tastes and textures. And it just makes a change from eating one mushroom in our lives. Cheers. So, I digress. Now, just before I do, you see this mushroom here? This one is called a chanterelle, and they are very sought after. They're beautiful, tasty mushrooms, and so I'm looking forward to finding some of those. But to finish off this video, it's kind of like thank you, I suppose. Thank you guys for coming back. Thank you for being there. Thank you for engaging. Thank you for imparting your knowledge and your stories. All that stuff makes the world go round, and it gives me purpose. You know that I've always been, you know, desirous to get people to partake and engage, and now more and more people are. I'm sort of getting more structured with the information that you know I'm speaking about. Delivery is better, more conducive to engagement. And so, you know, all of you guys that have come back, it's like, wow, Aaron, you're back, cool, excellent, oh, I've missed you, thank you. That's all I can say. But yeah, thanks. And so, you know, I thought maybe I'd just keep the videos about the book, but you know me, I'm very versatile, and I've got lots of other things going on at the same time. And so I thought, well, this stuff is a big part of my life, and whilst I'm out and about doing it, I'll just make videos about it. You know, coming upon certain fungi or foliage or fruit stuffs and this, that and the other. So, yeah, that's it then, guys. That's it. Just saying welcome back, and I appreciate you. And if I'm seeming like I'm dressing you down, I'm dressing myself down at the end of the day, because it's all about me, really. It's all about you, our whole lives. That's all that's going on. You know, what is going on? There's consciousness here, and it's having an experience. And so therefore it's all about us. And so we are all reflections of each other. And I don't consider that anybody is really separate from me per se. We share this incredible consciousness. So consciousness is one, and then we all have it. And so it's kind of like, well, we've got something very, very special between us. And then it's kind of like, well, we're all human beings. We all, you know, can communicate with each other. We all live on this tiny blue dot in this cosmos. And it's kind of like, well, I mean, we're all brothers and sisters, really, aren't we? And so, like I say, you know, let's not take things too seriously. Let's just be helpful, kind and considerate. Who'd have ever thought it? Namaste.